Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Jake here, and welcome back to another Pokemon Go video. And in today's video, guys, we are going to be going over the Jungle Cup meta with some very in-depth analysis. But we are going to try to make this one kind of shorter and sweeter for you guys. But I'm sorry in advance for the graphic if it doesn't look as clean as possible. I just made it this past night. I was working pretty hard on trying to make it look clean, and this is like the best I could have came up with. So this meta is a lot easier to understand rather over like previous metas, so I hope you guys find this Jungle Cup meta breakdown video helpful. And please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe on the video if you did enjoy after you finish watching, of course. And without further ado, let's get right into this Jungle Cup meta analysis. Alright guys, here we are with the Jungle Cup meta infographic. I hope you guys like this graphic I made. I know guys, it looks to be all over the place, but I assure you I have a plan. I have an outline in my head about how I'm going to explain this to you guys. And you guys might be thinking, oh well Jake, there's not arrows pointing to things like, for example, I don't have an arrow from the flyers at the bottom left to the bug flyers in the top. And I'll get to that, guys. Trust me. It was just I didn't put those arrows there just because of allowing this graphic to be clean to the eyes in a way. There's a lot of arrows, so it's already pretty overwhelming, but I assure you I will get to everything here in a moment. So to start this in-depth meta analysis off, we have in the middle Vigoroth, guys. Vigoroth is the king of the jungle in this meta. He has very positive matchups against, I would say, about three-fourths of the meta. And some of those positive matchups are here on the screen. We have an arrow pointing to the electric group, and that consists of things like Raichu, Lantern, Alolan Golem, Alolan Graveler, Magneton, and Magnet Zone. Those counters will be doing super effective damage to 4 out of the 6 in this group, being the Alolans and the Magnet Zone and the Magneton, because those are both rock and steel types. And then even though counter won't be doing super effective damage to Raichu or Lantern, Body Slam will be doing a great job to chip down Raichu and Lantern. And I recommend you have Bulldoze as your secondary move on Vigoroth so that you can hit Lantern with super effective damage. Because Vigoroth has a slightly harder time taking down Lantern, as it's a lot tankier than Raichu is. But if you have the Shield Bait potential with Body Slam, you could potentially knock out Lantern with a Bulldoze. So next we have Vigoroth being able to beat out the flyers in the bottom left, being Staraptor, Pidgeot, and Noctowl. Each of these flyers are also part normal, which means counter will be doing a neutral damage to all 3 of those, and Body Slam is really what you want to go with, guys. Bulldoze obviously will be resisted by the flyers. So Body Slam, Body Slam, Body Slam, guys. I assure you, if you take it into testing, you will be able to beat these flyers with just pure Body Slam spam, guys. This is why Vigoroth is the king of the jungle in this meta. Counter is an S tier fast move, meaning it's pretty godlike. It has very high energy gain, and it does very, very strong damage, even though it's not stab, which means it can produce the energy for those Body Slams at an extremely quick rate. And then we have Vigoroth pointing towards the bug and steel types, Scizor and Fortress, and that is because, again, those are both part steel, which means it's going to be doing a neutral damage because bug resists fighting, but fighting is super effective to bug, meaning those cancel each other out. And just again, pure Body Slam spam. even though it's resisted by both of those, it's still going to be chipping away. You guys can take a look at the sims yourself, but I confirmed all of these on pvpoke.com, and Vigoroth can beat them in the 2 in 1 shield scenarios. I'm not too sure about the 0 shields, but overall it's pretty close. So anyways, let's take a look at Vigoroth's weaknesses in this meta, guys, and those are actually, surprisingly, the bug types, the fighting types, and some of the bug flying and the bug poisons. So Vigoroth, being normal type, it takes neutral damage from grass moves, and as you guys can see in the bottom right here, we have the grass types being things like Sceptile, things like Meganium, Venusaur, Ivysaur. All those Pokemon with those Frenzy Plants and Community moves are going to tear through Vigoroth, guys. The only Pokemon from this grass group that will lose to Vigoroth is Sceptile, and that's purely because Sceptile's Fury Cutter just does not cut it, and Sceptile is the squishiest of the grass types. So other than that, Sceptile is a great pick for this cup, but if you want to be able to deal with Vigoroth more, you want to go with Ivysaur, Venusaur, and Meganium. That's just straight facts. They're bulkier, they have the Frenzy Plant down. Sceptile is recommended Leaf Blade. But yeah. So next, we have the grass and the bug fighters on the right, being Heracross and Breloom. Both of these wield counter and close combat for Heracross respectively, and dynamic punch for Breloom respectively. So you guys know the deal here. Counter is going to go to town on this Vigoroth, guys. And while both of these Pokemon are going to be resisting those counters from Vigoroth because they both have that bug subtyping, but they're also able to do super effective stab damage with those counters and with those charge moves, guys. So Heracross can actually beat Vigoroth in all shielding scenarios, even down 0 to 2 shields based on if you're on full HP. And Breloom is squishy, but its damage output is incredible, guys. So those two Pokemon are very hard counters to Vigoroth. And then we move up here to the bug flying types, being Scyther, Masquerain, and Vespiquen. All these are going to be double resisting Vigoroth's fighting moves, as well as the other bug poisons being Venomoth, Beedrill, and Dustox. Those are all very close matchups to Vigoroth, meaning they can sway either way depending on who has the energy gain or who has the health advantage. But Vespiquen and at least Masquerain can both easily cover for Vigoroth. The EX scissors coming from these two Pokemon are too overpowering because of the fact that both of these bug flyers are very tanky, and they both are double resisting Vigoroth's counters. That's purely it. And they can also tank body slams very well. So now that we got the King of the Jungle covered, guys, we can move on to the rest of the meta here. I just wanted to get that out of the way because Vigoroth is just an absolute monster in this cup, guys. So let's start from the top left, the electrics. Once again, we're going to be mentioning things like Alolan Golem with the part electric, part rock type moves. Alolan Graveler, Lantern with the water electric moves. Raichu with Brick Break and Wild Charge. Extreme shield baiting potential there. And then we have Magneton, which we're considering is running the double legacy move, Thundershock and Discharge. And then we have the newly added introduced Magnezone, which actually does very well in this cup as well. Both of these Pokemon having heavy hitting electric and steel type moves, and you guys know the deal with these guys. They will obviously destroy the flying types with ease, no issues whatsoever. They destroy the normal flying types, and they also do super well against all the bug, flying, you name it. They will annihilate Vespiquen, Masquerain, Scyther, Dustox, Venomoth, Beedrill, all of those Pokemon with ease. And as well as the flyers, Pidgeot, Staraptor, and Noctowl. That's all I have to say there. It's just like easy to understand. Rock types and electric beat those Pokemon. So let's move on to the flyers. Pidgeot, Staraptor. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. And then Noctowl. So actually no, guys, I apologize for that. Sorry. We actually have to explain the matchups within the electric types first. I completely forgot to mention that. So one of the best electric types in this cup is Raichu because of that Brick Break, and because of that it can beat out Magnezone and Magneton. That's straight to the point. And then we have Graveler and Alolan Golem can go head to head with Magneton and Magnezone. Based on Sims, the matchups are very even. It's completely based on whoever has the energy or the health advantage. And then we have Lantern in the middle, which could beat every single one of the electric types in this meta, guys. It can beat Alolan Golem and Graveler because of the Water Gun super effective damage. It can beat Raichu because of its squishiness alone, and then it can even beat Magnezone and Magneton because it's resisting those magnet bombs and the flash cannon coming from Magnezone. While even though a discharge will be doing some decent damage to Lantern's Water Gun, guys, is just too strong because Magneton and Magnezone are both pretty squishy. So yeah, that covers that. And now let's move into the flyers. Pidgeot can beat Staraptor in the mirror match. Pidgeot can also beat Noctowl in the mirror match. But Noctowl can beat Pidgeot, or not Pidgeot. Noctowl can beat Staraptor. So Pidgeot overall looks like the stronger flying type, but Noctowl is definitely the tankier one. It's just the fact that Pidgeot gets a more spammy charge move, being Aerial Ace and Brave Bird, while Noctowl only has access to that Sky Attack. So what do the flyers cover, guys? You guys, if you don't know, if you aren't well aware by now, the flyers eat the bugs and the grass types. They eat all the bugs types, being Venusaur, Ivysaur, Sceptile, Meganium. They eat the fighter types that are also part bug and grass. That will be doing double super effective damage to both Heracross and Breloom. Those are easy matchups for them. But watch out for the charge moves. You definitely don't want to be taking a dynamic punch from a Breloom, guys. So just be aware to shield that. And you guys know the drill. They will eat all the bug types no matter what their subtyping is. They beat Caesar and Fortress because the bug subtyping means Sky Attack and Wing Attack will be neutral to them. While the steel bug types only will be putting out bug quick moves which the flyers will resist, like X-Scissor, or X-Scissor, Fury Cutter, and Bug Bite. These bug steals only have access to the bug type quick moves, which means the flyers will resist that. Even though Fortress has Rock Tomb, the flyers overall will come out on top as long as they have the shields. And that's including Caesar. As you guys know, the flyers will eat the bug types, guys. What do birds eat in real life? Bugs and snakes. So the insects. The bugs will eat through Scyther being part bug, Vespiquen being part bug, Masquerain being part bug, and they will also be able to easily annihilate, dominate the bug poisons. Same reason, because their bug subtyping means those Sky Attacks will be super effective, and they are also very spammy. Noctowl, if you haven't tried it out yet, gets those Sky Attacks very quick. So yeah, that covers that. The flyers, guys, very strong. If they go unchecked, you will get destroyed. I'm just saying that now. Why do you think I used Lantern in my last few Jungle Cup videos? Why do you think I use 2 electric types? That's because you guys see all the positive matchups these flyers have against the majority of the meta here. You know, you guys can see the only hard check is the electric types. Vigoroth, sure, can handle it, but that's only a soft check. You want a hard counter to these flyers, guys. Just don't allow the flyers to overcome your team. That's my main tip here. Now, moving into the next group here, we have the grass types, and that consists of Ivysaur, Venusaur, Sceptile, Meganium, all having the community day moves besides Ivysaur. Poor Ivysaur. But yeah, they all have access to Frenzy Plant. Sceptile is pretty versatile with Leaf Blade and Aerial Ace, but it does have Fury Cutter, which means it's going to lose to Ivysaur and Venusaur, but it will come on top. It will come out on top against Meganium, purely because of the shield baiting potential in those Aerial Aces and Bug Bites, or not Bug Bites. Fury Cutters will be dealing super effective damage to Meganium. As you guys know, Bug is super effective against Grass. But Venusaur and Ivysaur are definitely the stronger grass types amongst the other grasses, because of the fact that they are slightly bulkier and they have that poison subtyping, which means they have access to poison moves. And those poison moves, Sludge Bomb, will be dealing super effective damage to both Meganium and Sceptile. So it's over for them. I'm sorry, Meganium lovers, but Venusaur will be outclassing you. And these grass types will obviously be able to overcome Vigoroth just because of the pure power that Frenzy Plant holds, as well as being able to beat out the electric / steel / water types / rock types. Grass typing resists all electric moves, and it also will be resisting the water gun coming from Lantern, while being able to deal super effective damage onto the Alolans, being Golem and Graveler, because they're part rock, and super effective damage to the part water electric that is Lantern. Excuse me, guys. And since Raichu, Magnezone, and Magneton are so squishy, they will nearly die to just about one Frenzy Plant, guys. So easy. That's an easy opportunity to burn shields. And Raichu will nearly get one shot, so watch out for that. And even though Magneton and Magnezone both resist grass type moves, if you guys haven't seen what a Frenzy Plant does to them, you probably won't want to see it ever. Make sure to shield Frenzy Plants, because you'll be in for a rough ride there. So yeah, that's all I have to say about the grass types. That's pretty much their role. They beat to summarize this real quick. They can beat Vigoroth. They can beat the electrics, no matter what electric it is. It doesn't matter. They cover that easily. And oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention is that they can also beat the fighter types that are part grass and part bug, being Heracross and Breloom. Even though Heracross resists bug moves, or not bug moves, even though Heracross resists grass moves, you know, it takes Heracross so long to get to the Mega Horn that by the time it does, these grass types have already fired off almost 2 Frenzy Plants. And once again, Heracross is pretty squishy as well, so Frenzy Plants still chunk it away about half HP. So, yeah, guys. If you're running Heracross against the grass, please don't think you're safe, because you are not. Heracross is very squishy, and those counters are being resisted on the end of the grass users. Well, at least Venusaur and Ivysaur, because they're bug subtyping. The only grass type that actually loses to Heracross is Meganium. To add a little like factoid there. And Breloom obviously loses to them also because of its squishiness. Okay, now that we have the grass types covered, guys, let's move on to the fighters. And the fighters have 2 main roles, and that is number 1, to be a hard counter to Vigoroth. So like I stated a little bit earlier in the video, the fighters both are getting stab, and they both have counter, which again is an S tier fast move. It produces a lot of energy and it does a lot of damage, and especially with that stab, Vigoroth is going to go down like he was never even there, guys. You won't even notice how quick he goes down. So that's all I have to say about that. It's just over for Vigoroth. Once you get that matchup locked, it's easy wins for these fighter types. And they also do extremely well. Well, I shouldn't say extremely well. They do pretty well at being a soft counter to the bug steals, because again they have that steel subtyping, which means those counters will be doing neutral damage, but the Mega Horns coming from Heracross won't be very effective. But even still, they still do a nice little chunk of damage. And then Breloom, sure, it's part grass type, but those bug bites won't be doing super effective damage to Breloom because it is part fighting. If I'm correct on that, if I'm not correct, tell me down in the comments below. But bug bites will be neutral to Breloom, and because of Breloom's high attack stat, it will be able to deal a lot of damage with just counters. If you can get to a dynamic punch, that is great, because you could always shield bait if you have Seed Bomb equipped on your Breloom, which I recommend Seed Bomb and Dynamic Punch for you guys running Breloom. That's an easy shield bait, and Dynamic Punch will do a ton of damage. So yeah, that's it for the fighters. Let's move on now to all of the bug types. These are quite interesting because on the right here we have Fortress and Caesar, both having that steel and bug typing, and they will actually be able to overcome the poison bugs that are Venomoth, Beedrill, and Dustox, mainly because they are going to be resisting those confusions and resisting those poison jabs coming from Beedrill. The steel subtyping they have is what allows them to resist those, and just the fact that they have those fast spammy charge moves, well, at least Caesar does. Caesar can just X-Scissor its way through these poison bug types. In Fortress, obviously knowing Rock Tomb, which I highly recommend you use for this cup, I would say Rock Tomb and Earthquake for that extra coverage against the electrics. Rock Tomb will obviously mop the floor with any of these flyers, any of the bugs. And then on top of that, we move on to the bug poisons individually. And as you guys know, since Beedrill has the part poison subtyping, the confusions coming from Dustox and Venomoth will absolutely dominate Beedrill. So Beedrill is definitely by far the worst of the bug flyers, or not the bug flyers, the bug poison, sorry, just because of the fact that Dustox and Venomoth have confusion. And well, that's curtains for Beedrill. I'm sorry, guys. So yeah, but then we move on over here to the last set, and these are the bug flyers. Now the bug flyers have, again, positive matchups against Vigoroth because their typing is optimal for this cup, guys. It will be 2 times resisting both grass and bug type, not bug type. It will be double resisting both grass and fighting type moves. So they will be straight up walls, guys. They will be walls to the grass meta, or the grass group in this meta, I should say, as well as the fighters in this meta. So those are some of the positive matchups for them, and they can also do very well against Vigoroth, just because of the fact that counter is doing very little damage, and they can spam those X-Scissors, they can spam those air laces, they can spam those air cutters, whatever moves you have equipped, which I would recommend you go flying type moves on all these. For quick moves, I'd recommend either wing attack or air slash on all these, as well as equip probably air lace and X-Scissor. And yeah, they will easily be able to dominate the fighters, the grass, and Vigoroth, while also being able to beat out their their poison and bug type friends, Venomoth, Beedrill, and Dustox. So yeah, guys, that pretty much wraps it up for the Jungle Cup meta video. I hope you guys learned from this. Oh yeah, and one more thing, we have the honorable mentions here in the trash can in the bottom left. And these are the Pokemon that are overshadowed, guys, just purely overshadowed, and they could be sleeper picks, but a lot of them just don't have the optimal quick moves for this cup. A lot of them do have the right charge moves, but their quick moves are just lackluster, guys. Things like Munchlax is just overshadowed by Vigoroth, and Munchlax will even lose to Vigoroth because Lick is immune to Vigoroth. That's purely it. Although Munchlax can definitely be a solid option because of the Bulldoze and Body Slam. It can do well against, you know, the Flyers. It can do well against the Electrics. It could even sometimes do well against the bugs in the grass, but Vigoroth is just better overall. I hate to say it, but yeah, I would say Munchlax is still an honorable mention. You can still run it if you would like, but Vigoroth is definitely the supreme Pokemon. And then we have Victory Bell. It's just outclassed by everything. It only has access to Razor Leaf and Acid. Its quick moves just are not great for this cup, guys. It gets beat by way too many things. And it just takes way too long to charge. By the time it charges, it's already dead. Like, that's the story from Victory Bell there. Then Cradily was an interesting one, guys. It was kind of a letdown because I was hyped because of its moveset. It knows Stone Edge and Grass Knot, which obviously will do really well against the Flyers and the Electrics, as well as the Bug. But its fast move, guys, Infestation, just does not have the damage output. It takes slightly too long to charge its moves, and it gets eaten up because it's part grass. It gets eaten up by the Flyers. It gets eaten up by the grasses because it's part rock. It's just unfortunate for Cradily to have such a terrible quick move, guys. We got the other normal types being Furt and Lanoon. I mean, Furt has Brick Break, but again, that move is just so awful for damage per energy, in terms of damage per energy. And it only knows really Quick Attack, and like, what is Quick Attack really gonna do, guys? You know, like, that's a terrible move for energy gain. And then for Lanoon, it's kind of the same story of Munchlax. It only has access to Shadow Claw, which means it's going to get beat by the King of the Jungle. It knows Thunder and Grass Knot, which is nice. That gives it some coverage against the Flyers and the Electrics, again, just like Munchlax. But again, guys, it just gets outclassed completely by the body slamming Vigoroth. And it's like all the other normals will get beat by Vigoroth because of the pure fact that Vigoroth has counter and body slam. It's just those, like, that two combination of moves is just far superior in this cup. And then we have the final normal type, I believe, which is the Bug, or whatever you call it, that never makes it into any cups, guys. It's the Dunsparce, the crap Sparse. It has Bulldoze, it has Rock Tomb, I believe, but its quick move is, I believe, Bite, and that's just an awful energy gaining move. Sure, if you want to use Dunsparce to throw off an opponent, go ahead, but just telling you now, you aren't going to get much out of it. It can definitely be usable, definitely a sleeper pick, but you have to put in the practice. This is why I have these Pokemon as honorable mentions, because they're definitely going to be hard to use, and they get overshadowed by a lot of the things in this meta. But regardless, that covers it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed my Jungle Cup meta in-depth analysis guide, I guess you want to call it, a guide. And yeah, overall, I hope this helps you out in the upcoming cup next month, and I hope this gives you a very good and strong idea of what you want to be running in this meta, guys. as a quick breakdown, as a quick little wrap up, Vigoroth and Noctowl, guys, watch out for them, have checks for them, and have them on your team. That's my top takeaway from this meta, guys. Vigoroth and Noctowl is OP. And make sure you have a hard check to both of them. Have an electric and have a fighter. That's my advice for you guys. That's the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed. And if you did, please don't forget to drop that subscribe. Smash that subscribe. Smash the like. And leave a comment down below of what you thought of my Jungle Cup in-depth meta analysis. And yeah, that's it for the video. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic day. And until the next video, guys, I will talk to you all later. Peace out.